What's up, everyone? Welcome to the divisional round edition of Down to the Wire. Today we have Jeff and Matt. Justin, unfortunately, will not be joining us today. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Looking forward to another fairly well. Last week I'd say was fairly strong because the games were pretty close. But I think that the divisional round, this is where we get some showdowns. This is where we get some good action. So I'm looking forward to that this week.
I'm really
Absolutely.
excited, guys.
Absolutely. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Let's start in the AFC first because some of us are invested in the NFC, so we'll do that later. So we'll start in the AFC. We'll do the number one seed Kansas City Chiefs against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jeff, what do you think about that game?
Well, week 10 kind of gave us a little bit of an indication what's going to happen because these two met in week 10 in Kansas City with the Chiefs winning 27-17. I kind of see kind of a similar game. I see Kansas City winning this. They should win it. It would be a mistake if they didn't win it, I believe. I'm thinking like somewhere around the 28-20 range with Jacksonville kind of scoring a late touchdown to make it semi-close. One thing I want to share, though, Trevor Lawrence has never, ever lost a game on a Saturday. High school, college, pro, this is a Saturday game. That's a meaningless stat, but I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, I think Kansas City wins this. I like the Kansas City minus 8.5 and under 53.
All right, what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping here we were going to get the Chargers versus the Chiefs, just because divisional matchup, and also I picked the Chargers to win. So, but I'm with you on that. I don't see. I think maybe Jacksonville can hang in there in the first half, but eventually I think Kansas City's just got too much firepower on offense, and Arrowhead. Or what I don't know what it's called now. I always refer to it as Arrowhead is going to be rocking for that game. So I'm going to say 27-17.
Same score.
Yeah.
Same score as before.
Excellent. It's the repeat of the 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl predictions. Anyway, so I think it's going to be a really close game. I think the Jags coming back like they did gives them, a belief that they can, play with anybody. Week 10 was, a decently close game. And I think the Chiefs will win. I think it goes into overtime, though. And I see the Chiefs winning. The new overtime rules, both teams will get the ball. I think the Jags get the ball first. The Chiefs stop them. The Chiefs kick a field goal to win 30-27 Kansas City. I think it'll be a really close game.
All right, I like that. Dougie Peterson coming through, huh? I love that play. That was at 4th and 1 or 4th and inches play to Travis Etienne around the outside. That was beautifully put together.
Right, where everyone thought they were going to do the sneak and
sneak.
Just off, that's perfect. I mean,
need more of that.
And the whole Peterson versus Reed storyline is another thing. Mm-hmm. The protege going to take on the master. So it'll be really interesting to see how that game goes along. All right, so the second AFC game is the Bengals and the Bills, and we all know what happened the last time these two teams faced. So fingers crossed that something like that doesn't happen again. We're happy that Hamlin is recovered pretty miraculously from where we all thought he was going to be. So hopefully it's a great clean game and everyone stays healthy. So Matt, we'll start with you. Where do you see this game going?
I've struggled with this game. I've gone back and forth. Bills, Bengals. I'm excited. Allen, Burrow, but ultimately I'm going to go with the Bills here. I wanted to take the Bengals. I think both teams didn't impress me as much as I thought they were in the wild card round. Two really, really good games, but I'm going to ride with Buffalo here. I'm going to say 33-27 Bills.
All right.
That's a good one. All right, Jeff.
Yeah, so wow, this is as I mentioned at the top of the show, this is like a showdown game. This is what we're getting, and Bills and Bengals, and what we were supposed to get back prior with that Monday night game. I don't think either team really played that well last week against quarterbacks that they absolutely should have beaten handedly, and so I have some questions about how are emotions going to play out in this game as well? Is anyone going to get us distracted? As a result of that, how much of a factor is home field going to be for Buffalo? I look at this and I think to me, this is all on Josh Allen. When he is on, he is absolutely on and he can't be stopped. When he's off, his athleticism is still there, but he's making those mistakes, right? Those turnovers that are costly. Which Josh Allen are we going to get? If the Josh Allen that I mentioned prior, the one that comes out and just absolutely dominates, I don't see Buffalo losing this game, regardless of what cool man Joe Burrow can do on the other side. So yeah, offensive line issues kind of on both sides of the ball, especially on the Cincinnati side with those injuries to Lyle Collins and Jonah Williams, their tackle. I like the Bengals +5, but I think Buffalo is going to win, and I'll take the under 48.5. Divisional round games tend to fade or tend to look on the underside, and I kind of see this being a little bit more defensive if possible, even though we're talking about two big juggernauts here. So, but I'll take the Bills to win, Bengals to cover, and under 48.5.
All right. I see it differently. I think that Cincinnati is going to win this game. I think, like you made a great point, both of you, with both offenses. You know, it really depends on which offenses show up, because both teams should have done much better last week than they both did. I think that Josh Allen, you know, recently has become a little turnover prone in the red zone, and that's something that he can't afford to do against Cincinnati. But I think that that's exactly what will happen, and I think Cincinnati definitely has the firepower to make him pay for it. I know that it's at home. I honestly like the Bengals offense right now a little bit more than the Bills offense. I think the Bills' complete reluctance to have any kind of consistent running game is going to come back to bite them in this game. So I see the Bengals taking it. I think it's going to be quite high scoring. I'm going to take the over on this. I think it's going to be like a 38-35 game.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right. So switching over to the NFC, we'll start with the 49ers against Dallas. I'll start with this one. I think, everyone was really I was wrong. I thought that Tampa Bay was going to beat Dallas. Obviously, that was massively incorrect. Dallas pretty much wiped the floor with them, made Tom Brady look like he should have retired about 3 years ago. But the 49ers are obviously a completely different animal. They're coming in probably the hottest team in the NFL. They're going to be at home. They already beat them last year in the playoffs. The 49ers beat Dallas, and I think they only upgraded. They got Christian McCaffrey. The defense is a little bit better. So I do think that it'll be closer than people expect. I don't think that the 49ers are going to beat up Dallas like a lot of people are saying. I think Dallas, especially if the Dak that played against Tampa shows up against the 49ers, I think it's be a really close game. But I think the 49ers just have too much talent on the offensive side of the ball for the defense of Dallas to handle. I think 49ers win a pretty close game, probably 28-20, I say. What do you think, Jeff?
All right. So, in my opinion, this is the 49ers game to lose. I think they're the better team. However, it's possible that Micah Parsons will be the best player on the field. And how he goes, I think, is how Dallas is going to go on defense. If the Dallas defense can play like what we saw against Tampa Bay and even better, then I think they have a chance. And by a chance, maybe they get a stray turnover here and there that completely changes how the game flows. But having said that, I think that San Francisco just has too many weapons. I think that Brock Purdy has the right blend of cockiness, ability, and understanding of the fact that he needs to lead the team, not be the team. You combine that with Kyle Shanahan's coaching that he's really improved and shown what he can do here in the last stretch of 10 games or so. 49ers are going to be tough to beat. Of course, it's at home. I like San Francisco minus the 3.5, and I like the over 46.
All right, Matt.
Guys, I'm going Dallas here. I am. Oh God, this is a terrible time for Justin.
Perfect timing.
No, come back
timing.
to all of last week, I told you guys that I thought Tampa was going to beat Dallas, and then I saw a Dak Prescott that I have not seen in what it's been 7-8 years. My best friend's a huge Cowboys fan. I know the Cowboys almost as well as I know the Bears, and if, like you said, if Micah Parsons if he can do what he did for Dallas's defense and disrupt I think I don't know. I might sound insane here, and maybe the 49ers are going to blow them out, but I'm going Dallas, guys. I'm going Dallas.
Whoa.
Justin, I'm sorry. This was a terrible time. Hopefully this doesn't mess up our friendship.
He's not actually sorry, Justin. He's lying to you.
I know he's not sorry.
All right. In perfect timing to talk about the 49ers, Justin, what do you think is going to happen in this game?
You know, I love the way that the Niners came out and played and dominated the Seattle Seahawks team, but
in the second half.
It dominated at the end of the day, okay? But look, this Dallas team did the same thing on Monday night against Tampa. And so I got to give props where props are due. We talked about this team being really Jekyll and Hyde and having both sides of the spectrum where they're elite and then they could be looking like one of the worst teams in the league. And they looked elite against this Tampa Bay team. They did. Dak played a phenomenal game. I think it was really underrated the way he played. And Micah Parsons looked fully healthy. Now, when it comes to the Niners side of the ball, I do have some true concerns. Like this, over the second half of the year, the Niners haven't really had any adversity. And so Brock Purdy, who's been thrust into this role, being Mr. Irrelevant, and has now played well in every single game he's played in, we haven't seen a true test of him being on his back for 60 minutes in a football game. So that part to me is the most interesting factor is, can Brock Purdy stay upright and what happens in the face of adversity? I got the Niners in this one, and it will be close. I think Dallas keeps his game close. They're good in all three phases. Well, minus the kicking part of special teams.
But wait a second, not all phases.
They're good in offense, defense, and for the most part, they've been pretty good on the special team side as well. So I think the Niners pull this one off at home. If this was in Dallas, I might have another take on this, but this is in San Francisco. Let's go Niners, 27-21.
All right. So Matt is the lone Dallas supporter.
Stay on that side.
On that panel. Friendships are probably ruined. All right. So to get to the last game in the NFC, I will not be going first on this one. We have the Eagles versus the Giants. The teams played twice already, as we all know. So Justin, what do you think is going to happen in this game?
Well, you know, I see you're kind of in the middle of the Eagles-Giants side,
right?
So I won't let you. I won't make you plant a flag. But this Eagles team, man, coming off of a bye, there's always one number one seed who comes in a little bit rusty into these playoffs, right? And I don't think it's going to be KC. So when I look at Philly, I can see a little bit of rust, right? And it's not something where I give it so much credence to where they're going to look terrible. I can just see, you know, Jalen Hurts did miss some time down the stretch, but this team is getting healthy. That's the key thing, I think, for this Eagles team is maintaining their health. And they'll be at home. I'm sure they might come out a couple miscues early on, but I think this Eagles team is better than the Giants, who have put up their best fight, beat a Vikings team that, you know, a lot of people thought was kind of fake, and it turns out they were right. So I like the Giants to be competitive in this one, but give me the Eagles still.
All right. Good answer. Matt, what do you think?
I'm going to agree with that. I think when I look at Philadelphia, I could see them potentially having one of the most talented rosters in all of football. On, you know, you look at their cornerback room, you know, their linebackers, their line, like offense, obviously they're stacked. Their wide receivers are incredible. I've been so impressed with everything the Giants have done this year in Brian Dable, but ultimately I think there's just too much talent, you know, home field advantage. So I'm going Philly here as well.
Jeff?
All right. So this game, in my opinion, it comes down to, can Philadelphia meet expectations, actually exceed expectations as the team that's expected to win? Last year when we saw they were beaten up by Tampa Bay, you know, they were kind of like the, hey, glad to be here team. But now this year with Jalen Hurts, of course, you know, they're expected to win, and he's a little bit rusty. I think the team is a little bit rusty as well. How is that going to play out against a team that is overachieving in Brian Dable, Daniel Jones, of course, and their defense? Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence, that combination has been powerful. They're playing really well together. I think that this game being in Philadelphia, I think the crowd is going to be a big factor, especially if the Eagles given them a reason to. 70 sacks on the season for the Eagles to lead the league. That's not going away. So that's going to give trouble to the Giants offense. I think Philadelphia wins this game, but the Giants cover. I like the Giants plus 7.5, and I like the under 48. So there's my take.
All right. So for me, there's two things I wanted to highlight. One is I'm really annoyed at Eagles fans saying that we're just going to dominate the Giants, because that's not something that ever happens. I know that in Week 11 we pretty much did do that, but the Giants are a much better team now than they were then. I think that the return to health of Gardner Johnson, Josh Sweat, and Lane Johnson being out there is going to be a really big key, especially if Lane Johnson is able to stay healthy. I think that's going to be matters. And also, it really depends on how Jalen Hurts' shoulder. If his shoulder is as good as the team says it is, then I think that will be, a really good chance to advance. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think that the Giants willing to let Daniel Jones run with his legs is going to be something that we need to be focusing on, because that's something that really, killed the Minnesota Vikings in that game. But I think if we are able to contain Daniel Jones' running ability, which is I think the only really a big thing that can hurt us, I think that we can win this game. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think the Giants do cover. I think it'll be probably within 3 to 4 points at the end. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, and it really depends on the health of everyone that's going to be playing in that game. If they're healthy and they play as well as they have been when they're healthy, then I think we win. If Lane Johnson plays for a series and then goes out, and Hurts, has a shoulder, or Kayvon comes in and, wrecks Hurts in one play, and then, shoulder goes out, then it's a much different story. But I really think that that Philly fans in general need to give the Giants more credit than they've been doing them. And they're a really, really good coach team. And, talent-wise, it really isn't a contest. I think we all know that. But, coaching is getting them really far, and to overlook them would be a really big mistake. So I really hope that, Nick Sirianni and everyone isn't doing that. I think it's close, but the Eagles do pull it out.
Using his legs, he threw for 300 last week too. So Daniel Jones, man, that's going to be a good thing. And you mentioned a good point about Brian Daboll. What he's done with this Giants team has been nothing short of incredible, man. So I don't think they go out there and just lay down either. And if Eagles fans are expecting that, they got another thing coming this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you look at the Giants depth chart, they should be like a 3-14 team. It's ridiculous. And that's not like saying like they have like a bunch of rookies and their wide receiver depth chart is not great, but it speaks to the coaching and the job that Daboll has done to get that much out of what he's had. So I haven't seen I've seen some Eagles fans, there are dumb Eagles fans, like there are dumb many fans that think they're just going to roll over the Giants, but that's just not going to be the case.
Yeah. What Daboll has done on that offense with Darius Slayton. I mean, you've got Isaiah Hodgins and Richie James, and a rookie tight end who's playing well, of course.
Yes,
but still a lot of a lot of smoke and mirrors somehow in some way. And Jones and Barkley, of course, being the two big contributors. But everyone's
but if Philly doesn't pay attention, they'll beat them. I mean, they can.
What percentage would you put on that? Like percentage wise, out of 0 to 100. What range of outcomes, everybody, what percentage do you put the Giants actually beating the Eagles? Like 15%, 75%?
62%.
That the Giants can win?
Yeah. That's their chance.
So you think they're going to win? They have a better chance of winning than losing?
I just think that they have a chance to win. That you asked. That's what you asked, right?
All right. So the opposite of that. So probably like a 36% chance to win. Then you said 64, right? So a 36% chance to win. Like there's a good chance they could win. Because 50 would be like we're on the Giants side.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Are they going to win? Yeah, I'd give it like a 34% chance. Right. That's probably the better way to look at it like that.
I give them a 40% chance. I think that there's a good chance that they'll keep it competitive the entire game. And I just feel like if we go in like we have been the last month of the season, then it'll be a lot closer than we want it to be, and that gives them a chance to pull it out in the end. Do I think we're going to win? Yes, I think we're going to win eventually, but there is that good chance that we trip up, and then Daboll is good enough of a coach to take advantage of that. Matt?
27%.
Very precise.
There's
I got like 13% chance that the Giants win. I think they'll keep it close. It's just the Eagles are, to me, just a far superior talent. So while I don't think it'll be a blowout, I think it'll be respectable. I just don't see a way that the Eagles lose this game.
Yeah. And as I said before, if we do lose, I will jump off the Ben Franklin Bridge.
It'll be mistakes, and it will be the crowd groaning, and it will be the typical we can't do it.
That's the thing.
Type of
If
mentality.
it's like a Washington type of game where we just
Mhm.
have like 3 turnovers that are like unforced, and we give them chances to
Mhm.
stick around, they're good enough to stick around and then pull it out in the end. We just can't let them believe that they have a chance to win. That's all.
And you don't want to have an uncertainty, kind of get the best of them.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know. I'd love another home game in San Francisco.
All right. That's enough of that. All right. So real quick, Justin, you did join us a little late. Just wanted to get your take on the AFC games real quick. So first, the Chiefs and Jacksonville. What do you think about that?
Now, I think Jacksonville's been coming in hot, and Trevor Lawrence has been playing absolutely great football. Doug Peterson has his team playing well. Now, pulling off one of the greatest comebacks in playoff history. They're riding high right now. But this Chiefs team is ready, man. They're not here for a first-round exit. This team is built for a Super Bowl run. So when I look at the difference in these two teams, it looks like, Jacksonville to me was playing like, hey, we got nothing to lose. Second half of the game, we can go throw some shots down. But Trevor Lawrence has a problem. Trevor Lawrence has a turnover problem. We've seen it with the fumbles throughout the year. We've seen it where when he's bad, Trevor Lawrence is really bad. And so the only thing I would say for this Jacksonville team is if they turn the ball over twice against the Chiefs, it's a wrap. The Chiefs are going to put up too many points. So I definitely think that they will force at least a turnover or so. Give me 34-20 Chiefs roll against the Jags.
All right. And then the Bills and the Bengals.
And this one's tough, man, because a lot of people think, the Bills, they played the Dolphins last week, and, they didn't look good. But neither did the Bengals. Like, the Bengals almost lost to this Ravens team without Lamar Jackson. So both of these teams are kind of limping in, and I'll take the team that's at home. And I'll take them comfortably because while the Bills, while the Bengals, they had, kind of a dogfight there and really were terrible outstretched hands away from losing that game against the Ravens. I think that the Bills, they had the similar predicament where they were down or they were in a very close game against the Dolphins, but they were up 17-0 in that game. They had their foot and just didn't put it all the way on their neck. So I think the Bills come out ready as all life for this game. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a familiar face on that sideline as well for this game. So give me the Bills, and I think they kind of thump them at least by 7 or more.
All right, excellent. All right, so that's the picks for everyone. So we'll come back next week and see the championship game, how that goes.